Welcome to the Become Who You Are podcast, a production of the John Paul II Renewal Center. I'm Jack Riggert, your host. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, I'm Jack Riggert, the director of the John Paul II Renewal Center and the host of the Become Who You Are podcast. Welcome. Saint Teresa of Benedicta said, "Love people in the truth, speak the truth in love. One without the other becomes a destructive lie." Marriage, family, especially the lives of children, are being destroyed today by the destructive lies of modern ideologies. John Paul II gave a beautiful tribute in the homily for the canonization of Edith Stein on October 11th, 1998. Canonized Saint Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. Edith Stein was a Jewish philosopher, convert to the Catholic faith, Carmelite nun, and she died a martyr at the Auschwitz concentration camp. Before she was executed by the Nazis, she said to all of us, "Do not accept anything as the truth if it lacks love, and do not accept anything as love if it lacks the truth. One without the other becomes a destructive lie." Today, I want to give you a brief summary of the Become Who You Are podcast, number 464 that was recently recorded. Edith Stein also said, "No spiritual work comes into the world without great suffering. It always challenges the whole person." This is especially true today when it comes to defending marriage, the family, and even more specifically focused, this historically heightened attack on marriage and the family has accelerated to the point that children are the ones really taking the attack now. They're openly being sexually exploited, robbed of their innocence, used as objects and pawns in this cruel and violent attack on the human person, which is the goal of all this at the end. So let's make no mistake about it. Let's be clear. If there was an enemy out in the world that wanted to destroy the human race, and there is, where would he attack? He would attack the foundation of human life itself. First, marriage and the family. And then once again, the most violent attack would be on their offspring, the most innocent and defenseless among us, children, the new generation. Today, children are mercilessly attacked by the bullies of the world, the pedophiles, the groomers, anyone that's out there to exploit children, we must stand up against, And those who defend children, who defend marriage, who defend family, we're on the front lines of this battle. Just like Saint Teresa said, this is spiritual work. And in this case, protecting the innocent lives of children especially will come with great suffering. You're going to come with attacks, abortion. Think about the child that escapes the womb. What would an enemy do to destroy humanity? Render them sterile. Puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones. Even their bodies mutilate their very bodies itself, right? How are we allowing this to happen? We lack the truth. We lack the truth in love, and we lack to love them in the truth. No truth, much evil can come out. Even for people that think they're good people, and this is what I hear all the time, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast. You know, whether you're religious or not, whether you're a Christian or not, truth is the truth. Love and the truth. Speak the truth in love. One without the other becomes a destructive lie. And that's the truth. And the truth also is that it takes a man and a woman to procreate and bring new life into the world. And that new life is a child. The truth is that child has a right to live and has the best chance to flourish as a child in a home with a loving mother and father who are married to one another. That's just the truth. They enter into this, your marriage vows, right? I come here freely to give my life to you totally, without reservation, faithful to you forever, and open to the new life, fruitful. This is your wedding vows when you get married in the Catholic Church. This is what sexual union tells us in and through our bodies, that the truth is that the two, man and woman, become one. And in that union, it's possible for a love bomb explosion to go off called a baby, a zygote, One single cell with half of my DNA and half my wife's DNA. When my child is born, it's a reflection of the love between a mother and a father. Right from the beginning, we see this expressed beautifully in the first two chapters of Genesis, right from the very beginning. And this is before sin enters into the world, before hatred, and vitriol, and falsehood, and lies. And even if you're not a religious person, you appreciate the beauty of that poetry that Genesis uses to express, one, the imago Dei, the image and likeness of God expressed as a man and a woman. And again, the two become one, open to life, become three. That's the truth of the Genesis story. And you came from this union. We all came from a union of a male and a female. You know, you were never that little egg. You were never that little sperm. As soon as they touch, boom, there's a love bomb explosion that goes off called the baby, a zygotes, huh? What's the truth of all of this? Once again, our neighborhoods came from all of this. The world of human beings, we all sprung from the truth of this love expressed in these brief pages written down thousands of years ago. All of societies, every civilization throughout history sprung from this truth. In the podcast itself, you can get it on any podcast app, any music app. Become Who You Are podcast, numbers 464. I go through Genesis a little bit. I go through that objective sign. It's really beautiful. But I want to just end this short, brief summary with an example that can go wrong. How easy a person's whole life can be altered. How destructive they can become. Even people that think they're good when they seek to love without the truth, or think there is no truth. Just think one is a good person without accepting the truth. You can do some destruction out in the world without even knowing it. I want to give you an example. It's a young woman that I know. She's a doula. A doula is a woman who assists other women during pregnancies and is in the delivery room when that child is born. It's an incredible gift to women today to have a doula, to have somebody there that understands what you're going through, especially during your first pregnancy. This young woman, who I know, sees the fruits of this union between a man and a woman, a child in the womb, almost on a daily basis. She sees the ultrasounds of babies moving, sucking their thumbs, the discovery of whether that little one is a boy or a girl while it's still in the womb. She often holds the baby in the delivery room, helps the mother begin breastfeeding, answers questions she might have. Yet this young woman is confused by the Catholic Church's teaching on marriage and the sanctity of life of a child, even in its mother's womb. And you say, why the confusion? It's no longer, that confusion happens, I should say, when we no longer understand the words of Edith Stein. Love people in the truth, speak the truth in love. One without the other becomes a destructive lie. And when that happens, children will suffer. Tune into the Become Who You Are podcast, number 464, and I go into that a little bit more. Please stand up to protect children. They're the most innocent among us. Stand up for stolen innocence. Thank you very much. Good to be with you. Bye-bye.